Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is a special report for Jupiter moving into Gemini. Now, here's what I want to say from the very beginning. So, I don't always talk about planets moving into a new sign, even though it does make a difference. Like every time a planet moves into a new sign, that 29th degree, the 0 degree, and then the degree 1, there's always like a shift, and we may or may not notice it. However, planets like Jupiter, when Jupiter moves into a new sign, it shifts the energy exponentially. Jupiter stays in each sign about a year, about 12 months. And Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is about expansion, abundance, love, money, pushing us to our highest potential, seeing the bigger picture, right? And so on May 25th, Jupiter is going to move from the sign of Taurus, where it's been for a year, into the sign of Gemini. So it's going to go from earth to air. I mean, come on, just that in and of itself is, you can visualize moving from a very earth, very dense, very one step at a time, very earthy, very, how are we going to, feel our sense of security and stability and perseverance, to like speed and communication and, AI. Gemini isn't really the most comfortable place for Jupiter to be. Um, because Jupiter wants to expand and grow. Now, this was a hard one for me to grasp. I I I feel like, well, Jupiter would be great because Jupiter likes to expand and grow. But the thing with Gemini is Gemini likes to see both sides. Gemini likes to ask about the details. Gemini is like, well, what about this? And Jupiter's already over here, and Gemini's like, hold on, let's investigate this. So there is this curiosity with Gemini that is counterintuitive for Jupiter. But here's the good thing, and I like to remember this too. Remember that all zodiac signs, all planets, they have, a positive charge and a negative charge, right? And not good or bad, but a positive and a negative. And so, this positive charge of Jupiter, let's just say, is all about expansion and growth and wealth and abundance. Now, if you look at the opposite side of that, if you have too much of that, there's a sense of overwhelmment. There's a sense of like, where's my discernment? So there's this energy that will support you in organizing your thoughts, especially because Mercury, right? So Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is your day to day. So this will help to kind of organize your thoughts and support you in discerning, what is it that mm, where is it that I can put my energy that is most aligned with what it is that I desire, right? So you'll know how to, you'll know how to um, kind of play out different scenarios in your storyline, whatever's coming up for you, whether it's like, do I change my job? Do I enter into this relationship? Do I shift how I spend my time a little bit? Do I make different investments? And even when I say that, do I make different investments? That could be in anything. It could be in your time, it could be in money, it could be in where you live, it could be in your home, in your relationship, like it could be anything. So this idea of, Gemini representing as the twins, right? Being able to see both sides, Jupiter wanting to expand everything. This energy is it's gonna be like this. But it is much faster than Taurus. Okay. So there's a couple of transits during this time while Jupiter is in Gemini during 2024. And I just want to let you know about them. And if you want to write them down, great. You don't have to if you don't want to. Um, so, and actually, before I do that, because this was really powerful for me, if we think about Jupiter being in a sign every 12 years, I want you to go back 12 years to June 2012 to like June, July 2013, what were you doing? I'll wait. No, I'm not going to wait. Just think about it for a second. And then go back 12 years before that, June 2000 to June, July 2001, right? So, you see how to play the game. So you can go back 12 years. And so similar themes will come up during this time. So I'm not even going to tell you what was going on in my life at that time, but I am excited about this time. So let me give you these dates really quick. So June 3rd, Jupiter's going to trine Pluto, and this is really, really beautiful. And these will come up in the weekly forecast, but I just kind of like to put it out there so you have it. Jupiter will trine Pluto, which is beautiful on June 3rd. And keep in mind that Pluto is the planet of inner transformation, all things hidden, empowerment, disempowerment, power struggles. So Jupiter, when it trines it, it creates this harmonious aspect. It's a harmonious aspect. So this will potentially provide you with an opportunity to see things in that realm of disempowerment or empowerment or power struggles from a higher perspective, which is, in my humble opinion, always helpful. August 20th and December 24th, 2024, Jupiter will square Saturn. Okay, so this is going to bring us back to December 2021. It's the same type of energy. So Jupiter square Saturn brings up issues around boundaries, restrictions, authority, rules, right? And so we have to remember, I always try to come back to, we have control over nothing except our reaction. That's it. And sometimes we think we have control over stuff, and then we're like, what? That was so dumb. I don't have control over anything. But you do have control over your reaction. So, what I will say is that we all know that this is an election year. I'll just put it out there. Okay. And as we move to closer to that time, energies will start to shift. I may not be talking about joy and abundance and luck and money and all of this. I might be talking about discernment. So you can already start to play with that energy and set some boundaries for yourself. Like maybe it's not watching the news or something to that effect. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but that's how I feel. So that's going to come up around August 20th. Okay. And then Jupiter will go into retrograde on October 9th through February 4th of 2025. Now, when Jupiter stations retrograde, it starts to move, I don't want to say backwards, but it just, it goes backwards. And so Jupiter retrograde is always a time to revisit whatever has come up for you regarding expansion, wisdom, knowledge, anything that's come up since May, and this is going to happen in October. So anything that's come up for you in the realms of how you value yourself, your investments, where have you put your time, things like this. So I want you to remember that, because it is important to know when these planets go into retrograde, so that you're not like, why is this happening to me? Well, things slow down so that we can pause for a second, and then our reaction is more of a response. It's funny how it works that way. And then let me just give you some little journal prompts on how to work with this Jupiter and Gemini. Creative expression. Okay, how am I using my creativity to truly express what it is that I want to put out into the world? How am I communicating? Remember, Mercury, Gemini, Jupiter. How am I communicating, either personally or in my career, in my life, that is supportive? And how am I communicating that is not so supportive? Like, how can I up level my communication skills? That's a really good one. What are some narratives that are holding you back from really feeling expansive in your life? Some old narratives. Okay. I have a couple, and they're really fun to recognize when they come up. how can you drop deeper into the idea of abundance? Like, what does abundance mean to you? What does prosperity mean to you? It's kind of like when I remember being asked this for the very first time, like, what does success mean to you? Right? It's the same thing. Like, what does abundance mean to you? I think knowing what that means to you is really important. Um, and then I would say reflect on, and I say this all the time, um, but I think it's important when it's like a birthday, like when the sun, when you have your solar return, or when a planet like Jupiter moves into a new sign. I like to say, ask yourself, what are your top 5 values? What's really important to you? And then is what's showing up in your life in alignment with that? Because if it's not, you might have to make some adjustments. And then always, always, always be discerning on how you use social media, people. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. And in the next, I know some people who are having a hard time. They're on the struggle bus with the news. And I'm just like, well, turn it off. Just stop watching. You can't control all of that. And it's affecting your joy meter. So pay attention to where you're putting your energy, and is what you're doing with your energy creating joy, or is it like creating angst? Anything that's creating angst, it's got to go. Thank you so much, you guys. If you want your chart read, let me know. It's nice to know where your Jupiter is too. So it's always a good place to start. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.